Alright guys, I got a very special comic book to show you. It's called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And for some of you that grew up in the 80s, you'll know about the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which were two characters from the X-Men comic book series, which was Firestar. She was a girl that had power of fire, and she was able to fly, and she could also shoot out laser beams out of her hands. The second character is Iceman, and it's Bobby, and he has the power of ice, and he didn't have the ability to fly, but he was able to kind of make, I guess what you call it, a bridge sled, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. And it was a pretty interesting cartoon series back in the 80s. Peter Parker was going to college, and his Aunt May, I guess, needed some, they were tight on cash or whatever, and Spider-Man was fighting some enemies, and Firestar and X-Men were going to the same college as Peter Parker, and I can't remember, I think it was the Hobgoblin or whatever, they ended up fighting them, and Spider-Man says, hey, why don't we team up? And Spider-Man took off his mask and showed Firestar and Iceman that he was actually Peter Parker, and then they showed Peter Parker who they were. And the show was actually had really good animation. I mean, it wasn't like fluent like something you see out of Warner Brothers, like with all the parts. But what I liked about the cartoon was the characters were actually really drawn like human beings. Nowadays, you kind of get characters that are over-exaggerated in this facial features. Warner Brothers was really the company that, I guess, back in the early 90s started doing that. If you look at the Batman cartoon series where everybody's kind of blocky. And, I respect everybody's different art style, but it seems like it's been getting a little bit too much used, and nowadays you really don't see characters who are drawn as humans anymore, except unless you read comic books. Also, as you can see right here, this is Spider-Man 2099, and what happened in that series was they found some DNA, I guess, from Peter Parker, and they injected this other guy with the DNA, and he developed Spider-Man powers, and he actually had a few powers from the original Spider-Man, like I guess like organic web shooters, which weren't really ever part of Spider-Man back in the 80s or in the 90s. I don't think organic web shooters showed up until somewhere around 2000. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it showed up early in a few issues or whatever, but I think it was right around 2000 when the new Spider-Man movie came out. So this is a three-part comic book, and this one has Untold Tales of Spider-Man. And I guess that might be the first issue of Spider-Man 2099. I know a couple of years ago they tried to bring back the 2099 series with different characters. It was like they had Daredevil 2099 and some other characters. But if you can see, like by the art style here, this was actually colored in with I guess industrial inks. That's what some artists told me. They use like industrial pens to color in comic books. As you can see over here, this is actually colored in with Photoshop. So this is I picked this up a few years ago, actually. As you can see, I guess this movie was called Zoom, which I never heard of. I think that's Tim Allen over there, but whatever. I remember that was Video Man. He was a character that came out of a video game machine somehow. I think it was Electrono or whatever. Somehow brought him to life, and Spider-Man and Iceman and whatever, they try to stop him. I think he was actually able to take away Iceman's powers. So that's it. So if you're able to pick up a cool comic book, they have a used bin. Look for Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I'm not sure if this was an ongoing series for a while or a mini series. I just happened to be walking through Newbury Comics, which is only a comic book store here in New England where they just carry the newest issues, because they actually started carrying music CDs and DVDs, and that was much more lucrative for them. So they don't really carry back issues. So if you're looking for stores that have back issues, I recommend New England Comics, Comicopia maybe. There's another one in Cambridge, I think Millionaire Picnic, but there's other comic book stores that you can probably find it on eBay or Amazon. So that's it, guys. Take it easy and have a good one. Bye.